In the 18th century, Leeds really did prosper as a centre of the cloth industry. What also happened was that you had a huge rise in the population from about 7,000 in 1700 to about 17,000 in the in-township by 1770. That vast increase in the number of people crammed into that central grid of streets, Skergate, Briggate, Boar Lane, the hedgerow, meant that conditions deteriorated fast. You've got to remember that there were no toilet facilities, that there was only a limited amount of piped water. And so you can imagine the noise and the stench that was occurring in those central streets. Now, if you had money, you still needed to be near your cloth markets, which were held in the town centre, but really living in those central streets was becoming remarkably unpleasant. And so if you crossed Leeds Bridge and headed towards Hunslet, the landscape was transformed. You were then in very pleasant open fields, lots of space, fresh air. It was an ideal location for the merchant class. And so what we get in that period from 1700 to 1770 is the development in those fields at the western edge of Hunslet, which is Leeds, and we get extremely fine Georgian buildings being constructed. Some of those were individual mansions detached from each other, which had workshops to the rear, their tenter grounds to the side. But if you weren't in the first echelon of society, if you didn't have that money, but you were still wealthy, what you had were these lovely terraces constructed, like this one at Blayds Court, which we're looking at now, which was extremely fine. It was an exceptionally desirable three-storey Georgian housing, spacious dwellings. As you can see there, you can see those wonderful large windows. They had well-lit halls. And if again we look up to the roof, what we can see is the large number of chimney pots, which shows that there was a fire available in each room. There were small gardens to the front, and these separated the accommodation from the street itself. This wonderful photograph shows you this site just shortly before its demolition in the late 1930s. And it's such a tragedy, again, that this wonderful, wonderful series of buildings was allowed to be demolished just prior to World War II. It was deemed to be an unhealthy area. The only thing that it doesn't show here was that very close by was all the noise, the dirt, the smoke, which was belching from the Yorkshire Brass and Copper Works, which by the 20th century was operating nearby.